Yes guys, what's going on? Happy Thursday and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode number 7 of the Rebuild Career Mode with Sheffield Wednesday here on EAFC25. We start off with a message from our young goalkeeper Alexander Parkinson, who we promoted from Youth Academy. One of the first couple of episodes, obviously hasn't had a game yet. Pierce Charles is obviously our first choice goalkeeper and he's been absolutely immense for us, but Alexander Parkinson wants a few more games. I said to him, listen, we'll try. Obviously, we're only in the league at the minute. We were knocked out of the Carabao Cup early, so it's not going to be easy to get him game time. But hopefully, obviously, when the FA Cup comes around, or potentially just rotation in the league against some lower opposition, we might be able to get Parkinson some game time. But for now, it's going to obviously be Pierce Charles in the back of the sticks. So, but we go into the first episode, or the first game of the episode, should I say, against Ipswich at home. Recently relegated from the Premier League and obviously moved around into the Championship on this career mode. And unfortunately, we do go behind fairly early doors, 20 minutes in, to a goal from Cisco. Obviously, we wanted to get off to a good start here this episode. Obviously, we had the heavy defeat against Norwich in the last episode. We had the last minute sort of defeat to Sheffield United in the last game of the last episode as well. So we wanted to get off to a good start here, but obviously going 1-0 down to Ipswich wasn't the greatest start 20 minutes in, and you saw there again, Ipswich did hit the post there, so we were sort of hanging on already in this first half. Ipswich weren't lying down. Delap, obviously now at Chelsea in real life, obviously due to the career mode, obviously still at Ipswich in the game. He got through, but luckily for us put it wide. But going to second half, we did create a few more opportunities. Ugbo played it back to Ingleson here. Ingleson fires the shot in, but unfortunately the Ipswich goalkeeper does make the save. But we didn't really get too many opportunities aside from that, and it was Ipswich who carried on pushing forward. Delap rolls his man there, gets a good shot in, but Pierce Charles again, like he has done throughout the last couple of episodes, made a really big save there to keep the scores as low as possible and give us a chance to come back to the game. But again, Ipswich weren't lying down. Connor Chaplin here runs through. Charles comes out to try and close him down, but unfortunately Chaplin just fires it past him into the outside of goal and puts Ipswich 2-0 up. And with only obviously 10 minutes left, the game looked beyond doubt at this point, and the game did end 2-0. But we go straight into the second game away from home against Hull midweek. So again, some changes. You've got Devin Long, the youngster on the right wing. You've got Kabaki coming in as well. So a couple of changes here, just to obviously freshen up the squad with obviously the limited squad size we've got, and obviously the midweek games and constant game weeks coming along in the Championship. We had to make some changes, but again, that's 3 losses obviously in a row that we've had. Obviously the Norwich one, the Sheffield United one, and that one against Ipswich. So we wanted to get off to a good start, and we got off to a perfect start here. The captain Barry Bannon, 7 minutes into the game, manages to jink his way through, get the shot away on his left foot. Not the most powerful shot ever, but went underneath the goalkeeper to give us a 1-0 lead early on. But Hull came back fairly quickly. 12 minutes in, João Pedro about 20 yards out fires one, a brilliant goal to be fair, past Pierce Charles. So Pierce Charles, as good as he's been, some shots you just cannot keep out, and that was one of those from João Pedro. Absolutely fires it into the back of the net to bring the scores to 1-0, and Hull weren't going to sort of sit back and settle for a draw. João Pedro plays it into Amrabat, which I didn't even know Amrabat played for Hull. I know that he used to play for obviously Watford. I think that's the older of the two. I'm assuming it's not the one that Manchester United were linked to recently. So I'm assuming it's the older of the two, but I didn't realise he played. But he got a good shot, and fortunately for us, Pierce Charles saved it. But half an hour into the game, Ingleson, pretty much carbon copy to be fair of Barry Bannon goal. He just strolls his way through on that left foot. Again, not a powerful shot, but just fires one past the goalkeeper low and gives us the 2-1 lead and gets us the lead back. But just a couple of minutes later, or 10 minutes later, Ingleson does manage to grab his second one. The ball in from the left-hand side from Kabaki, knocked down by Ugbo. Ingleson was there to pick it up, and he put it past the goalkeeper to give us a 3-1 lead, which should, going into half-time, obviously keep us comfortable, and obviously going to second half, hopefully we could keep that scoreline. But it seems to be the tale of the midfielders here. Obviously Barry Bannon with the first goal, Ingleson with 2 goals. He's cropped up with a few goals this season, to be fair. So really good to see him popping up with a couple of goals, and hopefully we can build on that into the second half. But Hull with a team that were sort of getting a few chances here. We did make the change of Ikugbó coming off for Caldermurty. You will see after the game Ikugbó did actually pick up an injury, so we'll wait to see what that looks like after this game. But just as obviously the game carried on going on, sort of 10 minutes after half time, Hull get another shot there through João Pedro, but fortunately saved by Pierce Charles there to keep the scores at 3-1. And then it was Hull that kept coming on. 60 minutes in now, so just a couple of minutes later, Puerta plays it into Cynic. Cynic manages to roll the defender, gets the shot away, but again Pierce Charles was there to keep the scores at 3-1. But this is sort of how the game went. It was Ipswich, not Ipswich, sorry, we're going back to the last game. It was Hull who, obviously we have a 3-1 lead, we were looking to obviously just cement that, but it was Hull who were really pushing on, trying to get that first goal back, and then obviously try and get the equaliser as well. But we did have our chances. Barry Bannon picks up the ball here after that cross didn't come to any from Kabaki. Kabaki rolls his man there, gets another good cross in here, and it's Caldermurty who came in obviously on for Ikugbó, gets the good header away down to the keeper's right hand side low, but unfortunately the keeper did save it to keep the scores at 3-1. And then from a resulting corner, Iorf manages to win the header, but again couldn't get it past Panda, the whole goalkeeper, and the score stayed at 3-1. But last minute of the game, Hull did get the final chance of the game. The ball fell to Joe Gelhardt. Gelhardt rolls his man, plays the ball into Louis Barry. Louis Barry gets a shot away, but fairly comfortable for Pierce Charles. I think that was a bit of a camera saver, really. So a good victory, good to get back to winning ways, but unfortunately it did come at a cost with Ikugbo being out for 3 months with that injury, which means Kadima Tere is going to get more game time. Obviously, last episode he did say to us he wanted more game time. Unfortunately, the reason for it is due to an injury for Ikugbo, but it obviously gives him a chance to prove himself. Charlie McNeil will come into the bench as well to obviously be that backup striker, and obviously we'll see how them two get on, and then obviously we'll see what that looks like. But going to the final game of the episode against Derby came into this game 22nd in the league, so we were looking for a fairly comfortable win, although we were away from home. But unfortunately we got off to the worst possible start. 13 minutes in, Yates gets through, Pierce Charles comes out, and then Yates just chips the ball over the goalkeeper to give Derby an early 1-0 lead. But obviously it was early on, we still had time to come back and get something out of the game. Jamal Lowe picks ball out on the right hand side, fairly tough angle to be fair, but he manages to fire the shot away and fire it past the Derby goalkeeper to bring the scores back. And obviously that gave us a little bit of momentum. Hopefully we can build on that and get back to another victory after that victory against Hull, and hopefully we can get something out of here. But unfortunately Derby did take the lead again. The ball coming in from left hand side, the young centre-back Kai Drake, just a little bit of mispositioning. The ball flew over his head even though he jumped up for it, and it was Yates again for his second goal of the game who was there. Fired the header past Pierce Charles in our goal, and Derby did get the 2-1 lead. And then about 5 minutes before half-time, the ball fell to Yates again. He played it into Salverson. Salverson threw on goal, no defenders sort of in front of him, all of them behind him. He had all the time in the world. Pierce Charles came out to try and close him down, but Salverson fires it past him and gives Derby a 3-1 lead. So obviously this wasn't how we wanted the game to go. Obviously, like I said at the start, Derby came into this game 22nd in the league, so we didn't think we were going to have this much of a problem, and then it got even worse from there. 40 minutes in, Salverson with another one on that left foot, fires it past Pierce Charles again after getting away from the defenders. So we did obviously make some changes, one due to fitness, but two, we did sort of maybe naively expect this game to be a little bit more straightforward than it was, obviously with Derby being so low down in the league. We did pull one back here, Ingleson with another goal. He scored 2 goals in the last game and he gets another one here with that left foot. But the score was obviously still 4-2 at half time, so we knew the second half we really needed to pick up and we really needed to do something to get back into this game. But Derby were the ones who came out stronger once again. Again, the defender, I think that was Max Lowe that time, getting caught underneath the ball from that cross from left hand side, and it was Yates there again to get his hat trick with that header. So Yates has obviously got a hat trick, Salverson's got 2 in this game, and the game's just really running away from us at this point. And the two, Salverson and Yates, were the two that were really causing us problems, and they weren't stopped there. Elder gets through here, he gets a shot away, but fortunately for us, Pierce Charles managed to make the save and keep the scores as low as possible at this stage. But it was Derby who were really pushing. 10 minutes before the end, Salverson gets another shot away there, tries to find that lower left hand corner, but fortunately just flies wide of the post. We did get a few opportunities. We knew at this stage, sort of 5 minutes before the end, it probably was unrealistic to get anything from this game, but we kept digging in. Chalobah with a shot there, but a good save from a Derby goalkeeper, and then from a resulting corner, the ball falls out to Ingleson here. He plays it back to Barry Bannon. Barry Bannon looks to swing that ball in with his left foot, looks for Bernard. Unfortunately, Bernard can't get there. Chalobah picks it up, plays it into Otabayo, who came on as a substitute. Bernard plays it back to him. Otabayo, obviously the young defender, didn't feel comfortable getting the shot away. The ball comes in. Unfortunately, Charlie McNeil couldn't get there. Ingleson tries to get there. A little bit of pinball here. Campbell gets the final header on the ball there. Barry Bannon back to Ingleson. Ingleson fires the first time shot. A really good shot, to be fair, from the edge of the box there. But unfortunately, the keeper saved it. And just having a look at the table here, we are currently sitting in 10th. Only a couple of points off playoffs, so we're still in a good position rolling into the future, and obviously rolling into the January transfer window. But that's going to bring the episode to an end. As always, if you do want to follow the series, please subscribe. Please like the video if you do enjoy these. Make sure you comment to follow the journey and put your suggestions in. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.